Alright, ladies and gentlemen, I'm here on the show. I'm here to talk about some NBA, the news going around the NBA world, so let's get right into it. So, first thing I want to talk about is the field goals made in the paint. So, let's get right into that. Just want to give some stats right quick. Bam Adebayo leads with 154 field goals made in the paint. Luka Doncic with 134 in the paint. Jalen Brunson with 133 made in the paint. Jokic with 128. SGA with 124. Jordan Clarkson with 118. De'Aaron Fox with 109. Morant 106. Durant 106. And DeAndre Ayton 102. Bam is a bucket getter. Definitely an all-star this year, in my opinion. Brunson being the smallest on this list really makes him the best in that area, especially with the volume he shoots. And also, Jordan Clarkson on here, attacking the paint has been big for Utah this season. Report: it would take at least 2 promising players on team-friendly deals and a pick to pry OG Anunoby away from Toronto. So there's been talks about the Toronto Raptors. What are they going to do? Are they going to trade some players like Gary Trent Jr., OG Anunoby, Siakam, one of those players? That there'd been rumbling something could happen. So it would take at least 2 promising players on like some team-friendly deals and probably a few first-round picks to get OG Anunoby from Toronto. I don't know. I feel like I don't know. Now maybe this could be a possible trade option. Is Josh Hart, like a Shaden Sharp and Keon Johnson, 1 first-round pick for OG Anunoby, but giving up Shaden Sharp though, your first-round pick though, would bite them in the butt like the Clippers trading away SGA, because Shaden Sharp can be really a player. And I saw some people throwing around the idea, which would make sense. Maybe the Miami Heat could be an option. But I feel this trade deadline is going to be a whole lot of nothing, because the Timberwolves and Gobert fucked it up. Nothing major, I think, is going to happen. The Warriors report they're unlikely to trade James Wiseman at the trade deadline, which is not a surprise to me. Definitely not a surprise. I think they tried, but nobody wanted them, so they're just gonna keep them, I guess. I mean, there's nobody else wanted them. I mean, I feel like they should try and get Jakob Poeltl from San Antonio. I feel like he'd be a great fit for the Warriors' offense, as well as bringing one of the upper interior defensive bigs to town. Report: the Blazers are making Anthony Simons untouchable in trade talk, as they should. You should make him untouchable. I mean, why would you trade Anthony Simons? Because he's a hooper, really good shooter. I feel like he's a CJ McCollum 2.0. I feel like he's a good, like, third option behind Damian Lillard. You just need to get a second option. Or he could be the second option, you just get them a third option. John Wall says he didn't feel welcomed by James Harden in Houston. When I landed, I go do my conference shit. He like, well, I'm on my way to Atlanta for Lil Baby's birthday. Harden wanted to be traded, so he wasn't going to show up. Kendrick Perkins gave his top 3 big men in the game today. He has number 1, Nikola Jokic. Number 2, Joel Embiid. And number 3, Domantas Sabonis. I don't know. Like, I think Sabonis is really good. Like, he's been putting up monster numbers this year. But come on. Bam Adebayo, in my opinion, is better than Domantas Sabonis or Anthony, or you say Anthony Davis. You can say Anthony Davis because of how he performed this year before the injury. And he didn't know who Sabonis was 3 weeks ago, man. James Harden and the Sixers, we had some really good teams in Oklahoma City, then that 18 team in Houston, but this team is definitely the best chance I've had to win. His thoughts on the Sixers. I don't know. Like, the 2021 Nets were literally a toe away from a championship. And he went to the finals with OKC. This current Sixers squad would probably get swept, or gentlemen swept, by Boston. The Golden State Warriors have shown interest in Peyton Pritchard, which is, I don't know why. He could get buckets off the bench. I mean, we don't need him, but he can get some buckets off the bench. I mean, I feel he has talent. Levine, DeMar DeRozan, and Nikola Vucevic could all be discussed in trade scenarios, and realistically be elsewhere when the deadline comes and goes, according to a source. Alex Caruso could be the one untouchable just because of how valuable he is defensively. Per Jay Cowley Hoops. Not saying it can't be true, but the source of the information is unreliable. The source of this is just unreliable. There's no way, man. I don't think Alex Caruso's untouchable at this point. The Heat have discussed a deal with Atlanta that would send Duncan Robinson, Caleb Martin, potentially protected first-round pick for John Collins, per Sean Devaney. There is concern among some with the Heat that Collins and the star big man Bam Adebayo would not be a great fit. But why would the Hawks do this? Trey and Duncan Robinson defending on the same team defensively will be like terrorism, man. This would not be good for the Heat, because you're getting Duncan Robinson and Trae Young, who can't defend worth a shit. This still won't make sense. Rui Hachimura has drawn interest from several Western Conference teams in need of scoring per Shams Charania. He's really underrated. I feel like the Warriors, maybe we could try and make a move for him. The Clippers, some of the Western Conference teams. CJ McCollum, some people would argue if I was in the East, I would have been a multi-time All-Star CJ McCollum. I mean, he's not lying. The East has been incredibly weak. NBA.com's updated defensive player ladder. They have Jaren Jackson Jr. at 1, Brook Lopez at 2, and Nick Claxton at 3. I don't know where Bam Adebayo is. Where's Bam Adebayo here? I don't see Mr. Adebayo. I don't see OG Anunoby. I know their defense hasn't been good, but he's the only one that's done anything defensively. Bam just had 3 steals and a block last game. He's so disrespected. Report, Luka Doncic has strongly indicated he wants the Mavericks to upgrade ahead of the trade deadline. I just don't know what they could trade though, and what they could get. And everyone's like, oh, he doesn't make his teammates better. This team would be trash without Luka. And they had Brunson, but they let him go and didn't pay him. Now he's going off in the Knicks. They definitely need to improve that roster. Hakeem Olajuwon, he's got all the moves, but leveraging the moves is different. Why would he be shooting threes? And he gave his thoughts on Nikola Jokic. His shot, his fakes, they are very difficult to time. You don't know when he's faking and when it's real. He has tricks. He's the one. W here. And Hakeem, big W for Mr. Hakeem. people just hate Nikola Jokic. I don't know why. People say, oh, Embiid might lead the league in scoring. So what? Nikola Jokic can easily average 30 points per game if he wanted to, but he gets his teammates involved more than Embiid, and he's just a better player. Like, I don't see how people can say Embiid's better. New York is not only seeking second-round draft compensation now to move Cam Reddish. The Lakers, Mavericks, and Bucks are teams with interest in Mr. Cam Reddish. I mean, I feel he's alright. He shows flashes here and there, but he's an expiring contract, and you're not going to pay him, so anything you get at this point, you'll take for Mr. Cam Reddish. I can definitely see the Mavericks getting Cam Reddish to try and bolster up that roster, or at least improve it. Several executives believe Kyrie Irving will re-sign with the Brooklyn Nets in the offseason. I mean, it makes no sense for him to leave. The Lakers are literally the worst situation. And meanwhile, Charles Barkley calls the Rudy Gobert trade to the Timberwolves the worst in NBA history. And he's not wrong, 100%. I still don't understand the motive behind the trade. It just didn't make sense at all at the time, and it doesn't make sense now. I'd argue, and the people will say it's either this trade or the Paul George trade, most likely. It was either that or the Paul George trade. San Antonio wants 2 first-round picks for Jakob Poeltl. I feel like 2 firsts is definitely a reach, but he's not as bad as people make him out to be. The Rudy Gobert really messed up the market. Russell Westbrook for his last 7 games is up 24, 5 and 4, 20, 14 and 11, 28, 7 and 5, 25, 7 and 7, 23, 5 and 15, 18, 11 and 9, 21, 8 and 9. So really good. He's been really good these last 7 games. He's been mostly efficient. And while yes, he might be still one of the least efficient players, he might be the least efficient player in the league. He's been really good these last 7 games without Anthony Davis and LeBron James. And Jrue Holiday's been amazing these last 2 games. 37, 6 and 7, 35, 4 and 11. He's been a monster these last 2 games. And he's shooting 47 from the field, 39 from 3, 87 from the free throw line. Jeanie Buss doesn't support trading away the future assets to help the current team. Another day, another groundbreaking report about the Lakers going to do nothing, ladies and gentlemen. Franz Wagner might be the most underrated young player in the league. He's averaging 20 points per game, 3 rebounds, 3 assists on 49 from the field, 36 from 3, 85 from the line, and that's in his sophomore year. Some rookies that do good in their rookie year have that sophomore slump, but he's definitely not in that sophomore slump. The Miami Heat are working hard to sell other teams on Duncan Robinson. Yeah, good luck with that, Miami. Lakers are still discussing Russell Westbrook trades. Another report about the Lakers possibly trading Russell Westbrook. So Caleb Martin's been viewed as the Miami Heat's best trade asset, which he might be. Minnesota Timberwolves didn't want to include Walker Kessler in a trade for Rudy Gobert, and they still did. And they did it anyways. But yeah. And that's all the news I have to talk about, ladies and gentlemen. So till next Michael High. Peace.